All right, I'm back. Hopefully, this is the second time around to try to make this stupid stream work. But let's try it again. No man do they call me, my mother and my father, and all my comrades as well. Hey, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Growing the Tribe, the RP stream. As per usual, I'm going to have a question and answer segment to start things off to give people a chance to filter in. So we have a decent crowd to actually play the game. Um, for those of you watching this recording, the Q&A usually lasts about a half hour, and I will post a timestamp in the description when I stop babbling and actually get to the game. Okay, now I can see you in chat. For whatever reason, there was no chat. I couldn't see anything. Yep, we're live. All right. YouTube had a hiccup, and I couldn't figure out how to fix it, and uh, the old tried and true turn it off and turn it on again seems to be working. Hey everybody, sorry for the delay, but I'm now seeing chat. I actually have it popped out just because I have an option to like have it separate from the little stream video, so that'll make it a little easier for me to see. Um, so anyway, we're going to start with Q&A, give people a chance to file in. Um, like I said, that usually lasts about half an hour. If you guys want to ask about No Man's stuff, currently ongoing plot lines, different questions, things like that, I can answer. Um, otherwise, yeah, we're going to do that for about a half hour, and then I will begin the game. Um, there was no live stream last week. Carrot and Banana, was there a live stream last week? There was no live stream. I was busy. I didn't have time. Um, Friday was just life came up, and uh, like people are like, well, you make a backlog. And it's like, yeah, I'm pretty good about making a backlog for stuff, unless I'm going to be busy for a long chunk of time. And you can't backlog a live stream, so uh, it wasn't possible. Um, So you haven't missed anything. Basically, the events that we're talking about right now. There's like a couple things that happened in session 2 that I didn't include in the story, but they were just like at the end details that I'm gonna cover what happened in the beginning of this session, and then we can continue on from there. But ending after the battle with the bugs, because you guys did stuff after the kind of the mop up. Um, but I think it's a good thing to end with what happened and then save the mop up for the next session I write. Um, you're taking care of health first before YouTube, right? I mean, yeah, YouTube is. I am not. I mean, I do my writing and stuff in the morning. I'm not up late at night doing YouTube stuff. So session 3 is going to briefly recap what happened in the last thing, and then we're going to start with waking up in the morning for the next day. You guys have been snot boss for 2 whole days. Um, session 3 is I'm gonna do a recap, and then you guys it'll be morning of that day. I'm just gonna do some details just to kind of make sure people uh, are caught up. Uh, does Snottius pick his nose with his left or right hand? Uh, Pretty sure he's right-handed. Of course, how did I draw him? Yeah, I drew him right-handed. In the way they're showing me the picture, he looks left-handed because they flipped the image when I put it up. But that's actually he's holding it right-handed, so I assume he picks his nose right-handed. Snotling picking nose first thing in the morning from BGC Vatan. Thank you for the donation. We'll keep the tradition rolling once we get started. And I want to let other people know. Oh, what's font size is needed for the 7? So I did announce earlier that I'm beginning to open up commissions. I'm not sure at what rate I'm going to get them done or how many I'm going to take on, but my base rate of charging is $7 per page of stuff that you guys want me to record. Um, and I can give you guys the file if you want it for yourself, or if you want, I can also put it up on I have a commissions YouTube channel that I have set up that I'm gonna post. Like things people have commissioned me to make. If people don't have their own YouTubes, or um, if they don't have some place to display it. So as far as font size, it'd basically be like font 12 times New Roman, and it can be single spaced. Um, Basically, I would have it. The way I do it is uh, I do everything in big blocks because most of my stuff is dialogue, and then paragraphs are separated by like a double space, and that's basically the format that I'd like to have it. If you, it doesn't really matter what form you put it in because it'll be adjusted based on different factors. So if you give me a big long narration with no breaks, that's one page, that's going to be different. That's going to cost different than if you are doing a dialogue back and forth and each of the guys just has like one quick line, and that takes up a lot of space very quickly. So it will, the baseline, as I said, assuming normal uh, writing stuff, single space, 12 font, the base is 7, and then it can change based on like if you basically for 7 is too cheap, maybe. This is what I'm starting out as. It might go up depending on demand, but basically what I've seen base stuff for voice work is about 15 to $20 an hour, and recording 3 pages of stuff that I don't have to write takes me about an hour. So if somebody pays me about $21 for 3 pages worth of stuff, like that's about a pretty reasonable amount. Now, what I might do is if somebody just wants me to do something really brief, um, like something extremely short, uh, I might make it a little bit more expensive so I'm not being spammed with like uh, requests for me to do like one line of something. So I might have like a minimum, like a minimum of like $3 or something. I haven't. I'll think about it and kind of work it out as I'm figuring these things out. But yeah, standard voice acting per hour is about. This is freelance. This is not like somebody who's in a union or like a big professional voice actor person. This is like freelance voice acting. From what I've seen on Fiverr is like 15 to $20, and then if you're really good, it can go up to like 30. And this is my first time doing it, so I'm keeping it low. Plus, it's also like something nice to do for fans. I'm gonna start off right now, and we'll see if people are interested. And I don't want to. Yeah, that's where I'm gonna start because my first commission was for Niels Ebsen, who might be on here. He might join us later. Uh, but he did a story or commissioned a story. It has about 3 pages, and uh, he we kind of negotiated and talked about what it was going to be, and I had it for $20, which is, yeah, that's the balance. Is I'm starting it low, and if people are willing to do it, I might increase it if it gets more popular. So, but we'll see how it goes. It is open now, and it might, and so if what I'm offering is too cheap, well, you guys can take advantage of it while it's cheap. Um, this is kind of like being able to to buy Minecraft early, and then you don't have to pay for all the fancy, expensive, updated versions of it. You just had to pay for, or you got in at alpha or whatever it was. But yeah, let's see if there's any other questions I missed. What kind of music do I like? I haven't done that one yet. Um, as far as uh, as far as music goes, I'm fairly eclectic. I enjoy classical music. Um, there's a certain there's kind of different decades of pop music that I like. Um, I enjoy some 80s pop music, 80s, 90s, 70s into 60s, I guess, if you want to consider like the Beatles pop. Well, they are pop music, but um, I like I'm pretty big into metal. Uh, I like death metal, symphonic metal, folk metal, melodic death metal is kind of what I really like. I like a monomorph a lot. Tyrannos is a lot of fun. Sabaton. Uh, there's a bunch. I could kind of go on about what I like, but it's a fairly eclectic taste, um, ranging from certain hip hop artists to heavy metal to rock and roll to blues to jazz to classical to I'm all over the place, and I don't have a real depth of any particular genre. A lot of people are like, "I do you know this band and this band and that band?" I'm like, oh, maybe I've heard the song. I don't know. Do I like Slipknot? Um, there there's kind of an era of new metal, which is what came out with Slipknot and I'm blanking on the name now. Korn. Korn was the other one. That were in the late 90s and early 2000s. And that was kind of the best iteration of new metal that incorporated kind of pop influences into metal. And it's since kind of gotten lame, but I think the first innovation, the first innovators in that sphere um, were pretty good. I don't know if I haven't listened to as much Slipknot as I have Korn, but I don't. I have heard some Slipknot, and I like them all right. What's the Emperor's favorite thing to loot? Shiny gold stuff. I think he'd want to loot a lot of imperial imagery sort of things. Listen to Thousand Foot Crutch. I've heard the name. I think I listened to one of their songs, and then I completely forgot. The name sounds familiar. I think I listened to one of their songs, but I don't know that much about it. Do I watch much anime? Not much. I really like Miyazaki. I've seen most of his movies. I've seen very very big smattering of anime. Um, I've seen a little bits and pieces of recent anime, and by and large part, I really don't like anime as a genre. There are examples of anime that I like, but frequently the writing is so bad. Um, I don't know. It's so tropey right now. It's kind of I've in recent times animes that I have found that I enjoy are animes that are kind of about making fun of anime. So like One Punch Man, the first season of One Punch Man. Uh, but as far as anime in a pure sense, there are things I like. There are things I like, but I don't have enough time to sort through what's good anime and what's bad anime because I think a lot of people who are anime fans have very different tastes than I do, and I don't have anyone that I can rely. I don't have any like reviewer that I can rely on to give me something that I really like. Um, the I think the most disappointing thing was because I'm just busy. I don't have a ton of time to watch TV, or pick up animes and follow them. But I was like, oh, Attack on Titan. I was super late on getting on Attack on Titan, and uh, everyone's like, you got to watch it. It's like great. It's the most incredible thing ever. Or like the real big hardcore fans were like that, and most people even who weren't hardcore fans kind of talked about it like it was really good. And I it was a very I didn't get through the first season, and people were like, no, you got to watch past the first season. I'm like, I hate all of these characters. They're all boring or detestable, or extremely one dimensional, which might be heresy of the highest order, but that's a shame because I really like the idea of Attack on Titan. I really like the designs of the Titans. They're so freaking creepy and weird looking, and it's like a really strange idea for a world. But even when I looked at that anime and then looked at like the things that happened later on, I'm like, oh, this went in like a really weird, convoluted way that I don't have a connection to, that I isn't very interesting to me. So, and that's kind of been like, that's like the greatest. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know, I don't. Eh. I don't hate anime. It's just mostly bad, which is true of most kinds of entertainment. Um, but I like ACDC. I like ACDC. There's nothing. It's kind of hard to not like ACDC. ACDC is one of the best. It's there's nothing. ADC might be the one of the most pure rocking out um, examples of metal. I really like ACDC. I've watched Cowboy Bebop. I watched Cowboy Bebop all the way through. I started watching Trigun, and just didn't keep going. Trigun can be very funny, but it it had tonal issues for me because it'd be like, we're so serious, and then we're really wacky, and then we're so serious, and then we're really wacky, and I kind of wanted it to be wacky or serious, because you can do both. Because Cowboy Bebop has funny things and very serious things, but they handle the tone shift better. I really like Cowboy Bebop. Even though the end villain is so stupid. What Vicious, I think his name is, who looks like Sephiroth and has a raven on his shoulder in future Spaceland, when everything else is not entirely grounded, but is much more grounded. It's just like, dude, you walked out of the wrong anime and into this one. Um, could a snot beat a ripper? A lone snotling versus a ripper? I think it kind of depends. Probably a ripper, because they're more inherently violent. Like, snotlings don't have natural weapons, and rippers are angry, hungry mouths. But here's the question to everyone: but how did you become a fan? Yeah, ask chat. Sure. How did I become a fan? I'll answer, and then chat can also come up with their own answers. I got into 40K a little gradually. I had gotten into nerd stuff when I got to college, which was a long time ago, and I was getting into kind of D&D and different role playing systems, and the guys that I kind of hung out with also did uh, tabletop battle sort of games. I don't. The people I initially played with mostly played Hordes and War Machine. I think that's what it's called. Um, and whatever the other, it's Hordes and whatever the other one is called. Um, that's the same game, but like different units. And then I sort of got introduced to 40K, but I didn't like get it or care about it for a while until I got out of college and I played Dawn of War, the first Dawn of War game. And then I played as War Boss Gorguts and was like, oh, I get it. This is like extreme and funny and violent and is like a very interesting mix of things. So, um, how many snotlings does it take to change a light bulb? Probably a lot. Probably a lot, and there's going to be a lot of broken light bulbs because they're not very tall. So they need to figure out a way to get up to where the light bulb needed to be changed. They're really stupid. A lot. I think the question of how many snotlings is kind of like the how long do you have 100 chimpanzees if you have them typing on 100 typewriters? How long is it going to take for them to write the complete works of Shakespeare? Eventually, something stupid's going to happen, and the snotlings will get the light bulb in. But a lot of things are going to get destroyed in the process. Attack squigs are much bigger than an individual ripper. I think attack squigs can get pretty big. So I think attack squig beats a ripper generally. But squigs can be like any size. You can have gigantic, huge, crazy squigs. Any kind of animal can basically have a squig equivalent. And attack squigs are just angry, bitey ones. We got a little bit of time. I'm gonna give. We got 22 people. We're gonna. It's a little early, but we'll. Are you friends with any other 40K YouTubers? I wouldn't say I'm friends. I've been in a little bit of contact with Lord Voldemort. We've exchanged information, and he actually was kind enough to record a bit for my 10,000 subscriber video, which actually was recorded a while ago, but my subscriber count has stagnated. So I'm like sitting on his recording that he sent me and waiting to use it. So. What is my opinion about Newhammer? So Age of Shilmar, as you put it, Age of Sigmar. I have no opinion because I never played fantasy. I only know what people have complained about, um, and I can't. It's like I would just be telling you the opinions of other people who've played it. I never played. I just I know people generally don't care for it, but I got no opinion on it because I never. I really liked the Warhammer Fantasy models. I've seen the models; they're really neat, and I've seen kind of the brief overview of what the factions are. I like the variety. I thought it was a very pretty game. I generally thought the models for Fantasy were better than those for 40K. Um, but I liked the setting of 40K a little bit more because in you're a little bit more limited in time and place for the kinds of stories that happen in the Warhammer Fantasy world, as opposed to you can kind of myrtleize anywhere you want in the galaxy. You got 100 billion planets or 100 billion stars where things can happen. Um, so you can kind of just make up your new space, whatever it is, for new things to happen. But in the fantasy setting, you were restricted to one planet. So, but it's kind of. But yeah, we got 25 people, so we're not doing. Oh no, I've upset 2 people. They just left. We're down to 23 people. No. Um. Doo, doo, doo. Are you guys down to start, or did you have more questions? Gray Airy Squig or Battle Spore? Dunno. Do not know. Yeah, I like Warhammer Fantasy. Yeah, I like there's more factions. Um, that was something I liked with vampire counts and tomb lords and skaven and lizard folk and all that fun stuff. It's just more. There's beastmen. There's more stuff. 40K has gotten a little bit more homogenized, which is weird because it's a giant galaxy. But all right, so let's go ahead and get started. Um, so a reminder of how we're going to do this for those of you who are new to the stream. Uh, we are going to be role playing. You guys are currently playing as Snotius the First, the great snot boss of Snotopia and the glorious capital of Snotantinople. The way things are decided is I'll describe where you guys are. Chat decides the course of action. Um, it's generally going to be decided by democratic vote. If you decide that you want to do uh, something, everyone else votes on it, and whatever the most popular thing goes. If you want, you can donate to ensure that your action is done. So whatever donation you wanna offer, it's like I want to do this thing. No more democracy. You get to be dictator and decide what happens. I would ask that people do not try to outbid each other or do chats to counter other people's chats. Because even if one chat is more than the other, I don't want people to spend money on me and not get value for their super chat. Okay, and that's pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and describe what happened last time, and then we'll go into the most recent morning. So during the last adventure, uh, you guys won the battle against the colony of bugs that had sent out a small force to try to attack after you had dragged off uh, one of the other bugs that you'd killed, and their pheromones kind of led back to uh, the base. You guys had a mighty battle at the walls of Snotantinople, and solved the battle by flinging great gobs of flaming poo. You use Snotfire, the state secret of Snotantinople. You killed them at the cost of 6 snots to the 8 bugs. You guys dropped down to 10 snots. Uh, you then were able to harvest the 8 that were left and provided armor to everyone except Pegleg, who has lost a leg. The other named characters we have are Tree Climber, who's an exceptionally good climbing grot, and there's Skullbash, who is your hated rival, who you at one point bashed in the head and made him a big, weird, lumpy head. But he has, despite your best efforts, continued to survive, um, despite you sending him to get eaten by the sea monster in the river, and also kicking him at one of the bugs, hoping that he'd get killed, but he just didn't. Um, so a new day arises in Snotantinople. Snotius awakes, stretches, and ponders what he'll do first by inserting his finger into his overly large nose, as picking his nose was the best way to start off any day. Yeah, Pegleg does have a peg. And also, you guys, I did forget one thing. You guys gutted the bugs for meat, and then like some of the whatever, I think basically the stuff you couldn't eat or turn into armor, you guys kind of put on spikes to try to ward away other bugs from trying to attack. And for now, that seems to be the way to go. So you guys get in a nice, happy, healthy, thoughtful pick of the nose, and yes. So I'm gonna describe it now of what you get when you come out. So as you arise from your slumber. You have found that 6 new snots have popped out of the ground. You still have the 10 you had before. All of the 10 that you have are armored except for Pegleg, who's been kind of tasked with making new armor because he can't there's a lot of work he can't do, but he can kind of sit and use one of the sharp mandibles. The other thing is there's enough sharp mandibles for every single snotling to be armed. You also looted those from the weapon from the guys. All right. So I'm going to give a rundown of what's going on. You now have nothing. All that much has happened. You guys do have an attack squig that has come out. It's not a huge attack squig. The really big, mean, nasty orc attack squigs, they kind of need you need runt herders that know the business a bit better than snotlings do. Snotlings can make squigs grow and they can make fungus grow, but they're not as big on squig breeding and feeding them the right stuff, and they're just not smart enough. Now, see, this is why I start later so people can catch up. And yeah, so currently you guys have 16 snots, which is more than you had last time. So essentially, you still have the 4 different things that you guys can roll for, which are searching for water. You can send your snots off to go search for water, go exploring, tend to the squigs and do basically mushroom farming, and then building. So with the additional snotlings, you can basically pick 2 different things. You can pick 2 different activities to get bonuses when you roll. So we're gonna start with that first. What do you guys want to boost working? What work do you want to try to boost to give a bonus? You want to try to send Skullbash again for water. You guys want to do that? Farming would be ideal. So we got squigs. I think we got him farming, building, and farming. Building, we need storage hut. Got a couple people wanting to send Skull. We'll do Skullbash being sent to water. Let's take care of jobs first, of assigning the major jobs. So we're gonna boost squig farming, and we want to boost building. Is that what we want to do? We can all, and it seems like everyone wants to go send Skullbash for water again. Skullbash gets water. Tree Climber can join you guys for scouting. I assume you guys want to go exploring again. All right, we're gonna do building and we're gonna do farming, and let's see. And basically, when you come back, we're gonna see what happened. Typically, you guys want to do exploring. Skullbash will be sent off to go get water again. He is not. He looks daggers at you again. So, can Snottius work out or train? The best way for orcoids of any kind to get fit is to fight more. Like that triggers, like Snottius is actually already much bigger. Muscle growth and bigness is fostered by fighting. The best way for you guys to work out or get better is just to go out and fight. And when you win, you get bigger and stronger at a much more, you don't have to work out the way people do. If you build wall, or people are suggesting wall and storage. Basically, what's built is going to be dependent on a die roll. Because if it's mediocre, you're basically just building. You're keeping up pace with the number of snots. that have been hatched, and you're basically digging out enough burrows to keep pace with demand, essentially. If they roll high, they build something extra. So how much bigger is he than regular snots? So a grot, a Gretchen, it comes typically about to the waist of a human. That's about 3 feet tall. Snotlings come up to about your knee, which is about half that, so that's about 1.5 feet tall. I'm using English measurement because, Games Workshop is an English company, Space is English, and I'm American, so I'm using English measurements. Snotlings are typically about 1.5 feet tall. Snottius is about 2 feet tall at this point. Snottius is also way longer lived than a typical snotling. Snotling's lifespan is measured in hours typically. Snots can dig or have current. They will for as far as a wall goes. The snots have currently do have a wall. They've just dug up earth mounds essentially to build the walls of Snot-Tantinople. All right. So, what do you guys want to do? You've now set your jobs, and there's a bit of a discussion of you guys. You guys actually have suggestions from the three named characters. Pegleg comes up to you and he says he can make.
Hey, boss, Snotius, if you go and kill more of the bugs, I can make more armor for all the new snots that's popping out the ground. If you could go get me that, that'd be great.
So that's what he wants us to do. Tree Climber comes up and he says,
see, we got some tools, but we don't got that many good rocks around. It's all dirt around here. If you want rocks, you gotta go to the river, and then that's kind of scary to try to get them, because then you can get ate by the big monster thing. I want to find a spot where there's more rocks. I could climb and look for them.
So that's what he wants to do. He wants to go exploring and try to find better rocks for making tools. Skullbash is kind of skulking in the corner. He says,
you know what you could do? Why don't you try to get rid of the big river monster? Prove how tough of a boss you is.
So that's what you got. That's their suggestions. So those are those three suggestions. So you guys want to go explore. Cool. Of exploring, those are the three suggestions that have been put forth. Kill river monster. Got a personal guard, good, lots of armor. So we got a couple. Okay, we got river monster, river monster. I got 3 river monsters, a river monster, and a rocks. River monster. All right, you guys are gonna go try to go get the river monster. All right. So you've seen what this thing is. For those of you who were not here for the first session, the river monster is basically a great big fish capable of eating snotlings whole. It has kind of conical, like alligator type teeth. And thank you, Old Man Skeletal, for the donation. For $5, river monster it is. Okay, so what is you guys' plan to go try to get this monster? You currently have armor. You have the mandibles, which are fairly sharp to enable to puncture through things. It's better than the weapons you've been able to make otherwise so far. So we got a suggestion to make a spear. Can the scales be used as armor? Well, you'll have to kill it first. you can skin and tan a fish. I actually found we found this a preserved gar scales, and they were hard as rocks. They were really sharp too. Um, so conceivably, you could if the scales of the fish are tough enough and you preserve them right, you could get some pretty nice armor out of it. So we got get a spear, use skull bash as bait, make a spear, take 5 shots to the bait. All right, find some bait. You guys want to try to use skull bash for bait? Not much has happened so far, Niels. Have use the squigs as bait? I saw it before it got redacted for some reason. You have squigs, use one as bait. All right, we got bug bits as bait. Squig bait. All right, it seems like squig bait seems to be the thing to do. So you send everyone off to go do their jobs. Are you bringing Tree Climber with you? Because he's kind of your exploration buddy so far. I think we got squigs. We're going to go bait squigs. So you get one of the meat squigs, and they're pretty docile. Like you can kind of just pick them up, and they're like little cows. Slaps Skullbash for questioning you. Take him along. All right, we're slapping him. Slapping Skullbash. All right, you smack him good, and you kind of grab him by the ear, and you're like, "Fine, you want me to go kill the big monster? You're coming too." Bringing Tree Climb along, and you guys bring a couple other snotlings along with you. You got a crew of, let's say 4. You guys got a crew of 4 coming out with you, which includes Skullbash, Tree Climber, and then another snot who might be important later. You grab a meat squig. They're kind of like, yeah, they're kind of just like orbs of meat that behave more or less like cows. They're very docile, though they will eat voraciously if given the opportunity to. So you guys take the squig, and so you're heading out to the river. Just make sure there's nothing. The river is not on the way to the bugs. There's a chance that the bugs are over there. Okay, you guys managed to make it fine. So you head over to the river, and you see this might not be. This is probably a big stream to most creatures, but to you guys, it is a pretty darn big river. So you guys have been like, so do you want to, you guys can make a spear pretty easily out of a stick. If you want to, like, stab the squig a bunch of times, try to get blood in the water to try to get the thing to show up. You could try to stick it, like, skewer it on a spear and kind of get that out into the water to try to draw it out. Prepare rocks. You guys got some, or have rocks that are. You guys have plenty of rocks that you can kind of like that are throwing rocks. Those are easy to get. When the rocks that were, it's like I want better tool making rocks. So you guys have rocks, but they're not like great for sharpening. So make a spear out of the mandible. All right. So I think where we're going, I'm kind of combining what everything is. So make a spear. We'll tie the mandible to the end of it. So you have it's kind of going to be like more like a glaive than a spear, because the mandible has a slicing edge on one side. Like the mandibles are designed to kind of cut together like scissors. So you have like a big like a kukri on a stick, if that's what you want to do. And looks like you guys want to try to use blood to lure the fish out. Okay. Are you getting? Are you are you going to arm the other guys similarly? Because you do have enough mandibles for them all to be armed to try to fight this thing. Are you going to try to throw Skull Bash in the water? Okay, I'm going to say everyone's armed with the spears then. Everyone's with the mandible spears. The kind of, you basically have big choppy. You got long wielded choppy things. Okay, Snots are all armed. It takes a little bit. Like you guys are now in. We woke up and it's been a little bit of time for you to get all geared out to go. So you're now setting out now. So you guys are all armed. Use the squigs as bait. All right, let's go ahead and do that. And if you guys want to try to throw Skull Bash in the water, that needs to kind of be a little bit more. That needs to be a little bit more of the. I think you guys need a little bit more support for that. I think some people are a little hesitant on that. All right. So you guys are going to try to let's get the squig blood in the water and see if you can try to draw it in. So you guys march to the river, big river, and you slice open the squig and like kind of have it. There's a shallow part where it's relatively safe to get water. The big fish can't get there. You kind of have to risk being somewhat close to the edge. You're a little bit safe because you have your spears, but you kind of need to like chop the squig and then you throw it in. All right, is everyone cool with that? That's what we're doing. Squig bait. All right, so you guys. All right, let's go ahead and roll. See if this thing's hungry. Okay. You guys put the squig in the water. It's bleeding. It's dead. You're there for a little bit. You're waiting for a little bit. It's kind of like fishing. Well, it is fishing. It's just very dramatic fishing. And essentially, what you guys find you have to do is you're using kind of your spears to keep it from drifting too far away. Because if it just drifts away, you're not going to be able to have a chance to get the big nasty fish. So after about 15 minutes, nothing so far. Doesn't mean that it's. Do you guys want to keep trying? I assume nothing's. It's not showing up yet. It might have caught the scent, but you don't see anything yet. Keep trying. All right, that's what I figured. Skullbash stands closest to the squig. Well, you guys are all kind of there. Keep like using your spears to keep it from floating away and getting. All right, wait. Here we go. All right. So it takes about another 15 minutes, and you guys are getting bored and starting to pick your nose. Until Tree Climber points out, he's like, "Wait, look! And you guys see the dark shape begin to move in the water. And this thing is big. This is a lot bigger than anything you've fought so far. You guys have fought the puke birds. You fought the diggy angry thing that was trying to eat the snotling. Managed to poke it in the eye. And you've killed the bugs, which are about snotling sized. This thing is really big. This thing is about as long as like a human being. So it is quite large, and its mouth is its mouth is about the size of like a gator mouth. It is pretty big. All right. So it's going to try to snap at the squig, and then you guys are going to get your chance to try to hit it. So attacking squig. You guys actually manage to, it comes up to snap, and Skullbash actually manages to move the squig out of the way so it doesn't chomp it right away. Because if it does just chomp it and you guys don't kill it, it can just like swim away then. So he like moves it out of the way, so it actually misses in the chomp. And then you guys are going to make your attacks. Okay. So you guys all attack, and you start basically like smacking at the water, and you see like this huge toothy mouth come out and like try to snap at the squig, and Tree Climber is like trying to swing, and Skullbash is trying to swing, and you manage to like slash it right over the top of its head. You basically like chomp down into it, and like you see that there's a cut, and like you can see blood oozing out into the water and beginning to make the water all bloody. And that makes this thing really mad. It manages, and the unnamed snotling, he is trying to stab at him, and with the head flailing around as you whack it, the other snotling manages to get caught. The spear is grabbed by the fish thing, and the snotling gets lifted off the ground and pulled into the water. Okay, so you guys get a hit on it, and it pulls one of the snotlings into the water. Do you want to keep trying to attack, or do you want to save your dude? It's up to you. Up to you, chat. Try to kill it. Right now it has one. Right now it has one injury to its head. As far as how many wounds does it have, I'm not giving you its hit point number. It is a big tough thing. This is the biggest, toughest thing that you've. Imagine the amount of damage a snotling would have to do to a human being before it was dead. If you had a little bunch of knee-high little dudes trying to kill a person, how many times would they have to cut you for you to die? Probably a fair bit. Kill it. Try to go for the eyes. A couple people have said go for the eyes. Only got one person wanting to save the snot. You guys want to try to go for the eyes? Go for the eyes. I got one for gills. I have not watched Goblin Slayer. I've heard of it. Got 3 for the eyes, 1 for gills. I got 1 for gills or eyes. Excuse me. All right. So you're going to go for the eyes and then tell some of the other grots to go for the gills. All right, we can do that. It's going to be harder to hit because the thing's flailing around. You're trying to hit one specific area. So you're less likely to hit, but you're more likely to do more damages. Okay, you swing and aim for the eyes, and like you might have been able to wound it again, but like aiming for the eyes, you don't quite get it on there. All right, the other guy's going for the gills, which is a slightly easier target. All right, Tree Climber manages to get a nice slice in on one of the gills, and that makes the thing very unhappy. And then Skullbash tries to swing, and he doesn't get a decent hit off. All right, so it's going to go. All right, and your buddy who was in the water, you see him like flailing and trying to get to shore, and then you just see the big fish come up and just and goes back down. So you guys are now down one snot. And then the fish dives and is going back into the. It's bleeding. You can see kind of the blood pool, like you can kind of see where it's going off to. But it is kind of, it has its food now and it's bailing. So if you guys want to kill it, you gotta keep chasing it. Bury the fish. It's in the water. It's kind of hard to bury it while it's in the water. You guys want to? You're gonna try to chase it. As you're fighting, you hear a rock whiz past your ears, and strikes the fish. Gets smoked. It is stunned by a snotling covered in leaves unknown. Okay, so Vanguard has introduced a new unknown snotling. Okay, I'm trying to figure out how to get this to work it in. Generally, because I have these things written out, like I can work in some details, but just in case, like introducing a new character that I don't know anything about is going to be like it's going to go in a direction. It's fine. You've offered it, but it's one of those things of like I can be flexible, but there's a degree to which I'm not prepared to add more stuff. But this is fine. Like this is fine, but if it's like more than something like this, it might throw me a little bit too much off, or like the game's going to become something weird. So this is fine, but this is kind of about the limit of like adding new crazy elements that I'm not necessarily prepared for. Okay, so you guys see a Grot fling a stone, and it conks the head of the fish as it's like slashing around, and like it manages to stun it. However, it's like a little bit out of reach for you guys when it gets hit. So like it's stunned and kind of like hanging there for a bit. You would have to get into the water somewhat. If you wade like about knee or waist deep, you can take shots at it, but then you're very vulnerable to it getting you. And as the mysterious snot like he's wearing like it's completely covered in leaves and like has mud smeared all over his face, and Snotty just kind of looks over him. He's like,
"Who are you?" "Don't worry about who I am. I am the night. I am the day. I'm a lot of things. I'm also a bush. Look at me leaves. Woo, 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 woo. And I'm here to save you. That thing needs to be stopped." "No time to explain. I'll explain after we've done killing this thing."
So you're up one more snot, and basically it's stunned. If you guys wade in, you can get one more hit before it starts swimming away again. So do you guys want to try to attack it again? It's going to get another attack on you guys, and if it hits, you guys are going to be in some trouble. See a carrot banana. What we got? We got gut the fish and free or lost snot. Everyone wade in snot. If you got it is again. This is a very big fish. It would be very difficult, even with all. Right now, you only have 3 of you with spears, because the mysterious snot is chucking rocks. Skullbash first. I'm gonna warn you guys, if Skullbash goes in first, and he manages to like win glory for himself, he's gonna get bigger. That's been what's been happening. Is you guys send in Skullbash to do things, and he survives, and that gets him bigger. I think I'm gonna name. I think I might name the new snot. So we got Sly Marbo. Might go Garbo or Snotbo. I don't know. We'll think of something funny. All right. If you guys want to try to pull all together to try to get the fish. All right. You guys are gonna have to roll really well. You guys can try to drag it out onto the shore if you want. Pull fishies. I think that seems to be what everyone wants to do. All right. You kind of gotta get good rolls across the board for you to get it. Okay. So you and Skullbash like raise your spears and kind of hack into it. So you get 2 more good blows onto it, and you both start yanking on the fish, which is now starting to look a little rough. You guys have done some serious damage to it. However, as you guys are doing this, Tree Climber goes to try to hit with his, and that's when the fish starts to come to, and its tail kind of lashes out. The mysterious snot is going to try to chuck. Wah! So Tree Climber gets pulled into the water, and you also get another blow to the fish by the rock, but it's not going to stun it again. The fish seems to be prepared. But the fish is going to try to grab Tree Climber. Okay, it's like coming after Tree Climber, but it doesn't manage to get its mouth around it. Tree Climber is kind of getting bashed. All right, so right now you have just you and Skullbash to try to pull it out. You guys are gonna have to be real strong, roll really well, or you can try to save Tree Climber. You got one shot to try to, because if the fish rolls good, it's gonna get Tree Climber. Save Tree Climber. All right, and there's a way to save Tree Climber that it's not awful. Like you guys are still more or less in danger. All right, Tree Climber is getting saved. You guys are gonna hold out the butt end of your spear to try to pull him in. Okay, Tree Climber manages to grab on, but he loses his spear. Like in the struggle, he ends up losing his spear. He basically lets go and grabs onto your spear and gets pulled up. So Tree Climber, you guys managed to save Tree Climber. It snapped at you guys. So now you have 2 snotlings with spears. You have a snotling with rocks. Tree Climber currently doesn't have anything, but he could probably get rocks from the mysterious snotling that we don't have a name for. Stab fish below jaw. Tree Climber saved. He got pulled to where you guys are. Now you guys are all in biting range because you had to wade in to be able to hit the fish. So you guys are currently about knee to waist deep in the water, swinging your spears at it, your kind of halberd, your glaives sort of at it. Try to finish the fish. All right. You guys just going to try to whack it? You guys just going to try to whack it? Brute force it? Whack the fish? I think we're going for whack. If you basically go for the weak points, it basically, unless it's someplace very specific, like the eyes, a good hit is going to hit a vulnerable area. Stab fish, throw rocks. All right, here we go. We got 2 stabbings, 1 rock. All right. Tree climber gets out of the water and like is like trying to. He lost his spear. He tries to go get rocks and tries to get it from the mysterious snotling. We'll do a vote a little bit later. Once combat's over, we'll vote. We'll pick his name in chat. But he was like, oh, you have rocks. I'm gonna try to get rocks, and he like tries to go for his bag of rocks, and he ends up like spilling them all. So tree climb has been very useless this fight. This mysterious snot throws a rock, but he is thrown off. You guys don't do actually that much damage. You manage to get like 1 hit, but it's kind of a glancing blow. Like it looked kind of messed up, but it looks like it still has a fair amount of fight left in it. However, only you and Skullbash are in the water. So, okay, the fish looks like you guys have messed it up pretty good. It's doesn't seem as interested in fighting. It's trying to get it basically gives kind of a half-hearted lunge at you, but it's losing a fair amount of blood, so it's a little sluggish in its attack. So, all right, you got rocks all over the ground. Just keep trying to roll to hit it. See if we win. You and Skullbash are not. I am going to flip a coin. If it manages to hit you, it's you or Skullbash. That's. Go for the gills. Have Skullbash flank it. It's you guys can't really flank it because it is a little ways into the water, and you guys are already weighted out up to your waist to be able to hit it. If you try to flank it, you're swimming out into the water. I mean, snots aren't the smartest, but like, you guys are controlling Snotius, which immediately makes him a lot smarter than most snotlings. Keep attacking for the wall. Can snotlings even swim? I don't know. Depends on how well they roll. It's like, can humans swim? I don't know. Are they good at swimming? Rip off its gills. Make it suffer. All right. Stabbing for the gills. We got 2 stabs for the gills. All right. You guys stabbed twice in the gills. Both you and Skullbash go for it. And it starts like flailing. It's kind of like it's pretty close to death at this point. But it's kind of going through death throes. You guys kind of gotta finish it off, but it is lashing wildly. Rock gets thrown. Okay. So you guys all tree climber and the mysterious snotling both pick up rocks and like lock steely eyes with each other. It's like this thing needs to die because Snotius and Skullbash are now in danger because this thing is gonna kind of go berserk. And they both chuck a rock dead at the head, and as it kind of looms up to grab one of the two snots. You guys manage to clock it. The two of them manage to clock it dead on, like right between the eyes twice. And it basically, in the middle of the lunge, kind of falls forward, its skull crushed, and kind of flops out onto the bank of the river, laying basically between Snottius and Skullbash. As you guys are both victorious, Skullbash still meets your eyes, and he's still looking at you with like complete hate. The other two, however, are really happy.
Hey, we did it! We did it! We did it! We killed the big monster! We killed the big monster!
And all right, so you guys managed to kill it. Hooray! Hooray all around. And only one loss of the guy that you didn't have a name for. Victory Screech. So you guys do feel like you're growing. We'll deal with the fish in a second and what we want to do with the body. But first things first, let's name the mysterious snot. So what do we got? His name was that guy. Snotbo, Snotmando, Purple, Snot Garbo, Snotbo, Snobbo, Sly Garbo, Snotbo. I think Snotbo's gotten the most votes. Snotbo. I think Snotbo's gotten the most votes. I declare him to be Snotbo. So Snotbo, Snottius walks up to Snotbo. He's like,
"He's good in the fight. And good on you, tree climber. You clobbered it good. But who is you? Where's you from?" "My name's Snotbo. Whatever happened to me spore grew up away from the village, deep in the woods. And I had to survive. Had to come all the way this way till I found you. I'm an expert at survival. I survived nearly 6 hours so far."
so we're going with Snotbo. That's been the slot. We're going with Snotbo. He can get other names if we feel like it. Snotbo. All right. So you guys are taking the fish back to base. Do you guys want to? I heard some people say they want to take the teeth. You guys want to take the teeth as trophies? They're not huge. Like, they're pointy, but they're not as big as the mandibles. Like, the mandibles on the bugs were huge. They like made up most of their body. But you're talking about a mouthful of fish, or a mouthful of teeth, and the teeth are like there might be small enough that you can kind of use them as like tools, like knife tools, because but they're not great for tools because they're conical. Like, they're not like the serrated slashing ones. They're like crocodile teeth where they chomp into you, and then the whole point is they don't let go. You could make teeth arrows. You could make teeth arrows, but they're about like gripping things. So they're not necessarily about puncturing things, nor are they about slicing through things. So they're like okay for arrows, but they're not like the like pointy needle teeth or serrated cutting teeth. They're not going to make great. They're okay. Like, they're harder. Like, you basically have if you want a poking stick, they're going to be better than the rocks you have available, and they're going to be better than the bones or the wood that you've been using because they're enamel, so they're sharp. Or they're not like super sharp, but they're harder. So when you stab, they're less likely to break. Teeth is also teeth. You guys want to split the teeth evenly amongst everybody? Teeth is also currency, which you would know. And they're not bad sized teeth. Like these teeth are maybe not as big as like not quite as big as orc teeth, but like they're not grot or snotling teeth. Split them even. You guys also can help carry this thing back. What I'm going to do is I'm going to break things down into what you can get out of it, and then we can decide what we're going to do. So, butchering the fish, you have bones to make tools out of. Most of the fish bones are fairly slender; they're not robust. Yeah, fish bones are very flexible, so they're not like really hard and great for tools. The skull is kind of neat looking, but it's more of a trophy. Could be somebody's helmet, but Snottius already does have a helmet. He might swap his out if he wants. You guys also have the teeth, which you guys split evenly amongst the 4 survivors who got it. You have the thing you have a lot of meat, and you have fish guts, so you got that. You have some food stuff. You also have probably the most valuable thing you have are the fish scales, and you guys are going to have to try to tan this. So it's going to be like fortunately, the most basic kind of make knuckle duster with his teeth. Sweat. Okay, so basically like all right. So let's. I'm getting an image in my head. So in one hand you have the mandible, and the other one you have basically a brass knuckles made with pike teeth. All right, so BGC Vatan is doing that. So that's you guys are going to do that. Yeah, the skin of the fish can make good armor. It absolutely can, but you kind of gotta. We're gonna have Pegleg see what he can do with it. He's got to figure out a way to try to preserve them. So I'm gonna see what he can get out of it. If it's gonna basically determine how many suits you guys get out of it, because it's a big thing. But if he's not careful, some of it might rot and not set properly. So we're gonna try to let's make some armor first. Okay. You probably could have gotten more out of this because this is a big fish. But it's new. You guys haven't done any animal tanning before, and it's a little weird. So after skinning and kind of wrecking some of it, Pegleg manages to get 2 suits. So gift Skullbash a fish helmet to improve your relationship with him. All right, so you give him the fish helmet. Are you gonna give the? So some people want to give it. I've seen 2 for giving the fish skull to Skullbash. We also have 2 suits of armor, fish scale armor. It is thicker than the bug armor that you've been wearing. Fish skull to make him friend. I think that's all right. So 1 for us and 1 for Snotbow. Snotbow is going to turn it down because he likes to move swiftly. He would want lighter armor. Like Snotbow is going to be like hiding and stuff. So Skullbash gets the skull. I assume you guys are keeping the fish scales. At least 1. You have another set. You guys want to go tree climber, or do you want to go Skullbash? Snotbow is like He's a scout. He's one of them like ranger types. So he's trying to go move silent. Tree climber. Got one vote for tree climber. Tree climber. Yeah, tree climber. It will impact his ability to climb. But he also was wearing bug. Like it's not that much different than wearing the bug armor, which he was wearing anyway. Skullbash had bug armor. Everybody in the tribe had enough for bug armor except for Pegleg, who wasn't fighting. It's not that much heavier than the bug armor. Together we can rule the wood. All right, I'm going to give it to tree climb unless there are vicious objections, because that seems to still be the highest. All right, I'm going to go with tree climber. You give it to tree climber. Skullbash seems annoyed that he didn't get all of it because he is bigger than tree climber. But everyone who survived is bigger. Like you guys are continuing to grow, especially when you return and you have the big fish. It's kind of like a big party. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to see how everything went as far as building and squig farming went, because those were the ones that you guys. All right, so building. All right, so building, you guys see some interesting additions to the wall. There are now like the builders have gone to the edge of the woods, and they've been cutting stakes with some of the tools that they've been getting, and they've been building more tools as well. But they've basically put a bunch of stakes into the wall facing outwards to and continuing to build up the wall. So it's higher than it was, and they're now like pointy sticks to make it harder for things to climb over them. But if you're like a human-sized thing, you can still step over the wall relatively easily. It might be a little bit of a hassle to like, you kind of got to like hop over, but it would not be hard for you to get inside the Snot-Tantinople. So, and then let's see. So that one's that. Let's take a look. So that's that. Let's take a look at how squig farming went. Squig farming not so great. You still only have the one attack squig, which wouldn't have been that helpful in the fish fight, because the squig would not have been able to get at the fish. Like you guys were fighting it with pole arms, and the squig just wouldn't have been able to get at it unless it was in the water, and it doesn't have like arms. It can't really swim all that well. All right. So as you also come back, you find that there are 3 more snots that popped out of the ground, but no great progress in the fungus farm. Like you're just getting food for things, but no new and interesting squigs have popped out. You're still stuck on one attack squig. But it's starting to get to evening, so you guys have some time to do a little bit more stuff. But with killing the fish, with getting armor made, with getting your new kind of knuckle duster made as well, so you guys will now have 2. Oh, you want to name? Oh, the squig have the name. You guys want to name the squig? We got names for squigs. Pog, Snoo, Rocco, Fish Fry, Fluffy, Rocco to Squig, Squiggius. Just keep the naming theme going. Pog Champ. They do make the Pog. They do make the Pog face. I've got 3 votes for Pog. We might go Pog. We got 2 for Squigius. Yeah, I got 2 for Squigius, 4 for Pog. I think we're probably gonna go. We got some Chomp the Champ, Chompa, Lassie, Fluffy. Suggestion: do you guys want to go Poggius the first? We could go Poggius the first. Combine a couple of the suggestions. Just Pog. We're going to go Pog. We're going to keep it simple. It's a squig. It's not very smart. Or Pog Chomp. All right. Let's stick with Pog. He's currently Pog. If you want to call him Pog Chomp he's Pog right now. So you have Pog the attack squig. So you have all the stuff that you guys have said that you wanted to get done. He's now completed. I'm going to roll to see if there's any interesting thing with the water carriers. Okay, actually, we have... So the people who went to go get water, what they've been starting to try to do is one of the squigs who's been designated to get water, which we can name, I guess, if we want, came up with the idea of his legs were tired, and he wanted to make it so he didn't have to walk all the way to the water to get some. So he got the idea to start digging a trench from the river to run towards Snot-Tantanople, to get so the water just comes to you guys. Essentially, simple irrigation. Okay, we're assuming that we're going to fry up the fish for dinner as well. How much time do we have left for the game? We got a fair amount left to go. Like, this is actually going to be a long session. Probably like an hour at least. So you guys, they've started on a canal and are about halfway there. So all right, so you guys, so all of that's happening, and now you guys are having kind of a big fish eating party. One of the Pegleg is kind of the smith. You have another grot that's the snotling that's become a little bit more adept at handling the fire. So he's got like a big flat rock that and he has like a one of the mandibles, and he's slicing off hunks of the fish into like pretty decent portions. And let me see how I'm gonna roll to see how he does. Okay, he's not getting all of the bones out, but that's not the worst thing in the world. But yeah, he's got like a big flat stone thing that he set off to the side, and they're like cooking alongside there. You guys are also snotlings, so if you're in a rush, you guys can eat. You guys can just eat it fairly raw. You don't have to wait too much. He's gonna flavor them with like fungal spore dust and mushrooms, and he's gonna cook up some meat squigs also for people who might not like the fish. So pretty big. No poison yet. I basically stated that you guys aren't really going to have access to poison until you have grots, and also the fungus farmers didn't grow anything very well. They rolled too bad. But I did have the request. Somebody paid and basically said they want to be able to do stuff with poisons. And it doesn't quite make sense for snotlings to have access to poison yet, but that's going to be something that's going to happen when you guys get to having goblins or Gretchen or grots. Grots are not just bigger, like they are. They look visually, that's all that's different, but they're a lot smarter. They're like way smarter. Um, Gretchen are typically smarter than orcs. An average Grot is smarter than an orc. I think Gazkul once said, when he's like, I'm the biggest and baddest. The entire galaxy burns in my boot prints." I think he says, "I'm as killy as a dread and as cunning as a Grot." So like, if Gazkul and this is old, so I think Gazkul's a lot smarter than a Grot, but um, if he's putting his own mental capacity in comparison to a Grot, they're pretty smart. Um, Venom is more natural, but you guys are growing mushrooms, and that would be where the poison comes from. And yeah, you aren't currently dealing with any venomous creatures. All right, so you guys have a fish fry. You have a wondrous feast. You feel bigger. However, you are a little nervous because Skullbash is kind of keeping pace with you, and he does have a cool hat. But I don't know. It's a mixed bag with him. It's like you've given him some things. He's grown large. However, you have clubbed him in the head and tried to get him killed on a couple of occasions. And also, when you brought him along to fight the monster, you were kind of planning on killing him too. So it's not. You guys aren't on great terms. You're just not fighting now. Skullbash got the fish head. Yeah, he got the pike skull. It basically looks like he has a fishy alligator skull on his head. If you ever get a chance, look up pike skulls. They look really neat. Yeah, he's got the fish skull. All right. So, anything else you guys wanted to do before you go to bed? You guys are so you lost a snotling, went down to 15. You got 3 more when you came back. So you're now up to 18 snots. Pick your nose. You guys gonna pick your nose to end the night? Prepare the canal for digging. Yeah, it's. If you wanted to, you could probably rally the whole snotling. If you got everyone to do it, kind of as the last thing to do before bed, you could get the irrigation thing to reach Snotantinople, so you guys don't have to worry about going to get water anymore. If that's what you guys did for the night. Sorry, Powell Marzek. I don't know what you said. Finish canal. Dig it. Is that what you guys want to do? Only one who can't really do anything is Pegleg, and he's kind of going to help essentially clean up from dinner. And cleaning up from dinner basically means everything that isn't eaten is thrown onto the garbage pile. So he's going to help he's going to kind of hobble around and help the cook clean up. But everyone else is going to digga. So you get it's kind of evening. The light's starting to fade, so it is a little risky for you guys to be working. But you guys now have a fairly sizable force. You need to get like if you were dealing with like a pack of wolves. Okay, now you're in trouble. But you're also not very far from base. So you guys get out and you start digga. Let's get some rolling to make sure see how if you guys did well. Okay. You guys start off kind of slow because most of the snotlings who they're kind of being sluggish and not really understanding what the work is to do because they're dumb. But kind of with bullying them and smacking them around, you guys manage to get them going. Kind of you and Skullbash are smacking snotlings around to get them to do what they're supposed to do. And then once you guys get them going, You go from kind of dinner time for about 3 hours, and you guys are all pretty dog tired. You are diggity dog tired, and but you managed to get the canal completed, and so now you have water that now runs into a pool um, that is more or less clean-ish. It's clean as far as greenskins care. Yeah, you guys can see pretty well at night. You don't have like if you're if you were in complete pitch black, you can't see anything, but you can. You guys kind of have like owl sort of vision or cats. Like you can see pretty well at night. Yeah, better than human night vision. All right, we going to bed. It's pretty darn late at this point. You guys are now going like I'm gonna. You guys are actually going to be risking nighttime predators finding you guys. Pick nose, then go to sleep. Nighty night, hit the sack, sleep. All right. Heading to sleep. So you guys head to sleep, and you actually have a dream. You see Gork and Mork. You see the now your snot brain is too small to really understand Gork and Mork. It's almost like your brain is almost like a child's drawing of like I saw dinosaurs or I saw a Godzilla movie and this is Godzilla over here and this is Big Monkey over here and look they're fighting and so it's like this very simplified, very basic images of these two enormous things smashing crudely into each other. And you then see uh you kind of see yourself suddenly become Gork or possibly Mork. Like you kind of are now seeing everything as if you were this enormously huge thing. Like you're big. You're not just big, you're really big. Really, really big. But as you gaze across to Mork or possibly Gork, you see the face of Skullbash. And this must play out. This always must play out. The fight between Gork, or possibly Mork, against Mork, or possibly Gork. So, the dream continues on, and it's just fighting for the entire night. And eventually, it is morning. And you wake up, as is your ritual at this point, and you go to stick your finger comfortably up your nose. Except something's wrong. Something's very, very wrong. There is no light coming down into your burrow, into the boss burrow. And your boss burrow smells awful. It smells rank, putrid, stinky, terrible. You guys cannot see anything. It is pitch black. You guys know the layout of your burrow, so you can like try to move towards the entrance if you want. Feel around. Some of you guessed it. Yeah, you start feeling around, you head towards your exit, and you put your hand about elbow deep into squig dung. Somebody took the dung from the fungus pile and just shoved it all down your burrow. You guys gonna dig out? All right, you begin digging, and you're furious, you're mad, you're just and you dig, and you're just flinging stinky hunks of squig dung behind, squig and snotling dung behind you, and eventually you burst out, and it's apparently somebody else was trying to dig towards you. You see Snotbow as you emerge out into the light, and the day is actually a fair bit later than usual. Normally, the rising of the sun wakes you up because it kind of shines down into your burrow, and that kind of wakes you up. It's later. It's kind of like 10 o'clock in the morning. So you're mad. You're like,
Look at this! What happened? What's going on? Where is everyone? I want to kill Skullbash. Where is he? Wah!
and Snotbow is there, and he's like,
He woke up early, that one. Real sneaky. He began bullying all the other snots, saying that he was the boss. And he clobbered them this way and he clobbered them that way. And he said, you lot is coming with me. And about half the boys, they said, yeah, he's here, he's big. The boss is around here now. We're going to go with Skullbash. And then the other half said, no, he's staying right here. And Pegleg said he was not going to go nowheres. He's staying right here. And so Skullbash comes up to him and clobbers him on the head, picks him up and says, I'm taking this one so he can make me all the fancy armors. I wants me own armor. And so he holds him away. And he went someplace else. He says he's going to start himself a new city that's going to be the capital of Snotopia.
and Tree Climber is with you guys. Tree Climber is on your side, but as you can't count. Right now, the numbers have gotten too big for you to keep track of. But you see a couple of dead snotlings because there seemed to have been some kind of scuffle, like not a full-out brawl, but like, or maybe it was a full-out brawl, but it was just like fists. It wasn't like we all had weapons and armor and were fighting. Like a couple guys got clobbered and killed in whatever kind of scuffle there was. But after that, Skullbash took about half of the snots and went somewhere. Looks like he took a bunch of other stuff. Like he looted the fungus farm. He took the attack squig. He didn't take everything, but he didn't take everybody's weapons. Everyone still has their own weapons, but he did take a bunch of food, and he took the one attack squig that had popped up. And you're like boiling with rage, and you're just like, you are very angry and very enraged. And are you guys going? Do you guys want to try to go get him now? All right. Old Man Skeletal. Cunning plan. Place any bodies around Skull's camp when we find him. Let the ants do the work. Track down Skullbash, beat him at night. All right, so these are the two things you guys want to do. So all right. So you guys gather up the bodies with the plan to draw in the ants. You're going to try to find Skullbash's camp. All right. All right. So, and you're currently going to try to track him down. So Snotbow offers, he's like, I think I know I can track him. I'm a survivor. I've lived for one whole day in this wilderness. I can do it for longer too. So you guys, you do get your snots to gather the bodies of the ones that are broken, that are dead, and you guys start following Snotbow's direction as he starts guiding you. Okay. He begins following, and it's not that hard. Like, it's a little hard to follow one snotling, but you got like about somewhere between 10 and like a dozen snots. Some of them are wearing like fairly heavy armor, with the bug stuff. So you guys basically follow, and it leads to the river. And let me see if you guys managed to go unseen. Snotbow does, but you guys are not unseen. You kind of spot Skullbash about the same time he spots you, and he's starting to dig out burrows on the opposite side of the big river. You had sent him on a number of times to go collect water, and in doing so, what he found is there is a set of rocks, a set of like stepping stones that can lead across the river, but it's pretty narrow, and you have to be careful making your way across. So he doesn't have like any kind of defensive structure, but he's on the other side of the river. So you would need to figure out, if you want to try to do the body plan, you would have to figure out a way to get them over there, and then not have them, because also like orcs eat each other. You guys can also like eat the dead bodies, or if he has Pog over there, he could just feed them the attack squig. That's the other thing. All right. Night attack, combine the two. Flaming dung, way to go, Skeletal. Let's see. Anything else? So that's try to build a bridge, kill a bug and bring it here. No. So I'm gonna let Skullbash do his villain speech, because he sees you guys. So there's like a low wall that's starting to be built. Like there's a couple of burrows, and there's like a mound of dirt that they're trying to turn into a wall. And he like puts his foot up, and he's wearing his fish skull.
I snottiest the first. I am Skullbash, and I'm the proper boss of these boys. I'm gonna lead them, and I'm gonna be Snot Boss, not you, and the great city of Skullstanbul is gonna beat out Snotstantinople as proper capital of Snotopia, and you gits can't do nothing about it.
And Pog is like by his side, and you made friends with Pog. Pog looks a little bit agitated and kind of sad that he's not where he's not in his pen where he knows there's lots of food. So throw the bodies tied with rocks to let a bunch of pikes be their constant problem. Well, that is also putting a bunch of pikes in their moat effectively, that you would have to cross if you were going to actually attack Skullstanbul. And right now they're not very dug in. Like they like have started to have burrows, but they don't have. they don't have any defenses really yet. Like if you can get through the stepping stone bridge. All right, you guys want to try to tell Pog to attack Skull Dash for a treat? You can yell to Pog to bite. Give him the order to bite. You guys want to try that? You can also throw rocks. Some people are saying rocks. You try to make your own speech. We got throw rocks. We got order Pog to bite him. We got throw rocks. The river is wide. It is you guys would have to roll really well to throw all the way across too. Like you guys are a little command Pog monologue Pog bite. Pog chomp. Command Pog to attack. Call him a coward for running away instead of fighting. Make a speech. Order the squig to bite. I think we're all right. Let's go with the order of getting Pog to attack. So let's give it a shot. All right. So you go Pog, chomp, and the attack squig just goes and like bites Skull Bash on the leg, and kind of he has like he has the bug armor on, and he has kind of the shin guards, the greaves, and like his greave cracks, and Pog like yanks it away and begins chewing on the chitin.
He's like, I give it back. No, that's mine. Oh, you is a get. I'm gonna get you.
Build a trebuchet. That you are awfully ambitious for these Stone Age not very smart creatures. All right. So do you guys want to try to attack? You guys got your full tribe with you. It's essentially 10 on 10. It's like you have Tree Climber, Peglegs is stuck in over there. But you have Tree Climber and you who both have heavy armor. And you have let's call you guys have three. No, you guys have four would be elites, guys that have the bug armor. You have then four guys that are unarmored, but everyone has mandibles. Do you guys want to challenge Skull Bash to the one-on-one fight? We can have a dramatic fight over the rapids. Because basically there are like rapids around where this stone bridge is, this stepping stone bridge. So like there'd be like dramatic water kind of rushing past you guys. 1v1? All right, I think we're gonna 1v1.
Come on, Skull Bash. You want to be boss? Then you's gotta prove it. I founded Snotantinople. I was the first snot boss. You got yourself bashed in the head for being a git, and now, even though you sort of kind of stopped being a git, killing a big monster, now you showing that you's nothing but a little ranty gittish coward. Fight me, and let's end this. Find out who the proper boss is.
I need to get. Do we have duty like public music that I could put on in the background? I'm not doing Duel of Fates. That's I can't do stuff that's copyrighted. Does anybody know of a like what is it called? Duty free or like something that's on there's a bunch of YouTube stuff where there's like duty free music. Free to use epic music. The first one is if you need powerful epic copyright-free music for your videos. Here, okay, that's free epic music, no copyright. Fire and Thunder. How does that sound? You guys want to try that? I'm gonna try. I'm a little worried about this. If it's garbage, I'm gonna turn it off. But I'm gonna try this.
Soundtracking your content.
Stop. No ads. Hold on. All right. Here we go. So, you guys take a step out on to the roaring rocks, and you guys are going to have to keep your balance while fighting, because if you fall in, you can see pikes beginning to move back and forth in the water, almost as if they're eager to see one of you fall. You step forward with your spear, and Skullbash also begins walking out onto the path. All right, you guys are on opposite sides of the water, so you guys can move towards him, or if you want, you guys are slowly kind of making your way. All right, I'm gonna roll to make sure everything's okay. It's not horribly hard to walk across, but it is dangerous to fight. You don't have a real danger of falling in if you're not in the middle of fighting. Yeah, you basically, so here's your options as far as weapons. You actually do have a weapon option. So you have your knuckle dusters. You also have your spear, which is a two-handed weapon. If you want, you can lose your spear to just have to make it the mandible like a blade. Are you guys going to stick with the spear for now? All right, spear is better. Keep spear. All right, we're going to cross that, and you guys are fighting. Yeah, fighting dramatically across the river. All right, so I'm going to roll to see which one of you guys goes first. Okay, Snottius goes first. You got to try to sweep the leg. You guys want to try to sweep the leg? Sweep the leg without the greave? I mean, you guys still have your knuckle duster. If like, basically, Skullbash is similarly armed to you. You guys both basically have like your fish hunting spear. I'm gonna turn this down a little bit. You're gonna sweep the leg without the greave. I think that seems to be what people want to do. Though Maximus, you have said that 3 times. So, but it still only counts for 1. We got two votes for sweep the leg, Johnny. Okay, go for the leg without armor. Okay, you basically swing at the leg, and it's very close, but he managed to basically pull his leg back and put it forward, and he like stumbles a little bit. His foot like slips and goes into the water as he dodges, but he like quickly kind of gets back up on the bridge, and then he's gonna swing at you. Okay, he like whacks you, and he like it dings off of your fish scale armor that you made, but it like cuts a few of the scales away. So you're doing okay, like you're not hurt, but if he keeps whacking at you like that, he will eventually get through your scale armor, even though it's really nice. You guys want to keep trying to go for the leg? He whacks you. You guys are going to actually have to roll to keep balance. Okay, you wobble a little bit, but you guys are okay. You don't aim for the leg again. You throw your own helm and charge. Lock spear and then punch with punch his exposed leg with fish tooth. So you could try to lock in with him. You guys want to? You could aim for the leg again. You could charge in and get into a melee with him and try to punch him with your knuckle duster. Yeah, the squig ate the armor off his leg. He has an exposed leg. They try to get him in a bind. You could also throw Maximus wants to throw your helm at him and charge. If you did that, your helm is probably ending up in the river, and you might not get it back. Yes, Snodius has the teeth knuckles on. Like they don't interfere with his ability to wield the spear, but he can't like stab with the spear and attack. Like he can't get 2 attacks off essentially. You try to get in close so we have the advantage. Got a couple of things going for the blind. Yeah, that seems to be the all right. So you're going to try to basically tie up his spear with your own spear, and then once you're kind of tangled up, try to punch him. All right, so we're going to try to go for get tangled up. All right, he's going to try to get untangled. Okay, you try to get him tangled up. He gets untangled. He's going to get a chance to stab at you, but you guys will still have a chance to kind of get in there and try to punch him or slash at you because okay, he's going to slash at you first. Okay, he whacks you again in your chest piece, and your scale armor is starting to get damaged. If he gets another blow like that, you might lose your armor. You go to swipe at him, and he like steps back. And he steps back out of your attack, and he starts grinning. He starts looking pleased with himself. You want to keep trying to push the melee and try to punch into his unarmored leg. All right, I'm going to actually roll to see if you guys fall in at all. So he hit you. You guys keep your feet. You swing at him. Okay. He actually slips and falls. So he like not like off, like he's kind of like he slipped and fell on his butt. He's still kind of on the stone steps. So he didn't like fall into like the deep parts, but he's like prone for a second. So you guys have a chance to attack him while he's down. You're gonna stab him. We got knock his helmet off. Your spear is not a piercing spear. It's a slicing. It's like a glaive because you have the mandibles on it. If you throw the spear, it's not going to work great. You guys are what's been happening? What's going on? You guys are in a death fight with Skullbash. Slash with knuckles again. All right, we got a couple of things. You can try to whack him with your spear. You can try to punch him with the knuckles again because you guys can get on him easily at this point. Because he's down. He slipped and fell. You can try to push him into the water. He's going to be a little hard to push because he's kind of wedged in between the rocks. You'd kind of have to get into him, lift him up, and then hurl him. Like you'd have to like throw him off. You can also jump onto him and like start punching him, or you can like slash at him with a spear. We're gonna do 3 different things. You can do 1 of 3 different things. We're gonna keep it simple. Jump on him and start punching him. Basically, like get him by the scruff of his armor, and then just start punching him in the face. You can slash him with your spear, or you can haul him up and try to throw him off the bridge. Those are the 3. We're getting a lot of suggestions. I'm gonna try to keep it simple, unless somebody wants to take charge. So those are the 3: spear, punch, throw him into the water. Got one slash with spear, 1 jump on him, 1 throw him into the water, 2 slash spears. Slash spear is winning right now. 2 for water. Okay, so evenly 2 for all of them. Punch, slash, and water. Another for throw him into the water. Another for slash for spear. Throw him into the water. Water's winning now by 1. Oh, we can throw him into the water when he's out. Okay, so that's not 1 for water. So we're stuck with slash spear and 1 for water. Somebody has suggested dance. One vote for dance, which is not an option at this point. One more for punch. Punch is catching up. Somebody can also break it with a super chat if we got, but let's tally him up. I'm going to tally him up. You got once for, so jump him, I'm going to say is punch. Slash with spear is 1. Throw him in water 1. Slash spear 2. Water 2. Punch 2. Water 3. Spear 3. Punch also 3. So they're dead even. They're currently dead even. Somebody's got to break the tie. If you haven't voted yet, it's 3 apiece. Hit him with the choke. Lorenzo for $2. Hit him with a choke slam all the way from hell. All right. So he's down and he's like struggling to try to get up. And you get down. You like come down on him and try to grab him by the throat. I'm going to say you're holding your spear with your right hand and your knuckle duster's your left hand. And you're going to, or maybe knuckle duster's in your right hand because you're right-handed. So you like go down and grab him. And you're going to try to basically dunk him dash his head into a rock. So, all right, you pick him up, and you pick him up and like by the throat, and he's like his legs are kicking, and you like just slam him onto one of the rocks, and his helmet cracks apart and shatters as you bash it against the rock, and the bits like break and start floating off into the water. All right, so he basically takes his action to like recover himself, so he's like standing, and you pick him up and go, whoa! And all of the snots on your side go, yeah, get him! Get Snottius! 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 And all the other guys in Skull Stand Bull are chanting, come on, Skull Bash! Get him! Skull Bash! Get him! All right, so you guys are now back on you're now kind of on even fighting grounds. We're going to see we're going to reset initiative. Okay, Skull Bash gets the initiative this time after recovering himself, and he's going to try to use the butt of his spear and try to conk you right in the nose. So, okay, he thrusts at you, and you like duck down out of the way, and he misses you. Okay. So what do you guys want to try to do back at him? What do you guys want to try? How many wounds do you guys have been hit twice? One more hit and you lose your armor. Another hit after that with the mandible and you're dead. You guys basically have 2 hits left. You've destroyed his head armor, but that's also like the first damage you've done to him. You haven't been able to get him all that good. You do rise him like Bane did to Batman and try to break his spine. That'd be very orky. Taunt him, uppercut, sweep the leg now, push him into the water, kick him in the snards, taunt him to make him slip, whack his head with your stick. You gotta cut. I'm gonna put I like the Bane one. Right now everything's. You guys were successful choke slamming him. Maybe you guys are kind of WWE style wrestler fighter. We got two kicks to the jimmies. Got 2 votes for Bane. Looks like it's kick to the jimmies or because the jimmies are not protected. That's one of the things you guys weren't able to armor. Okay, we got 3 for Bane. Bane, got another for Bane. All right, Bane. All right, here we go. We're going to go for Bane. All right. He's got the initiative on you, so he's going to try to come at you first. Okay. He swings his spear at you. You nimbly hop over it and keep your feet. You like wobble a little bit. It's not perfect. You don't make it look like pretty, but you keep your feet and you're good to fight. You like lunge forward after he swings and like grab at him, and you haul him up above your head and then bring him down across your knee and crack right through his carapace armor and utterly destroy it. So he's now like everything you've given to him, every little bit of thing you've given to him, except for the mandible, you've taken away from him, and you're just Wah! And you can just feel like just jazzed and hyped up. He's going to try to be cunning this time, and he's going to try to swing his weapon at your legs to try to knock you off your feet. All right, he knocks you a bit. Okay, you guys like stumble. He kind of like looks pathetic for a moment, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna mess you up. And he basically like whips his spear around and like catches you in the leg, and you kind of stumble down for a second, and he's gonna try to follow up and stab you. All right, he basically rakes across your body and like tears off what's left of your armor, and now you're about as vulnerable as he is. However, so he like rips off he destroys the nice scale armor that you had. So it is now though your turn to attack. Yep, you still have the helmet. You still have a helmet. You guys want to try to uppercut with your knuckle dusters? We got stab and toss him into the water. That's another good one. Go for the head. Headbutt him. Headbutt's also good. Do you guys want to finish the job you started? You bashed him once. Do you want to headbutt him and bash the skull the rest of the way? The skull looks the way it does in the picture. You don't have horns on it. Right now I got most things for headbutt. Yeah, bash his skull. All right, we're gonna go. Let's get the music. Let's get the music going again. All right, see if we can finish him off. All right. So he rakes across you. You step forward, and you grab his spear. Your spear's like falls to the ground, and it's like kind of caught in between some rocks, so it's not floating away. You like grab the shaft of his spear, pull towards him. He tries to like wriggle out of it. You grab his other arm, and you like have his arms pinned to his side, and you look at him. He's like, "I made you skull bash. You was mucking about afore. And now I'm finished in the job I should have started when I founded Snartantinople. It's Snartantinople, not Skullstanbul." And you pull back and you bring your helmet right down on the bridge of his nose and crush his skull to a pulp. And the body of you guys are like still holding him, and you basically take him and you, with surprising strength you didn't know you had, pick him up by like his neck and his like you like grip him by like the loincloth he has, and you just hurl him into the water, and you see like one of the pikes leap up and snatch him, clap him between the jaws, and like drag him under. He was definitely dead when you bashed him, but you disposed of his body to be done. You guys rolled quite high. You guys rolled a 19 on that. But you guys would have killed him anyway. Like if you guys had hit him, he was at 1 health essentially. So all of the snots are like cheering. Snortius! Snortius! Snortius the snot boss! Snortius the snot boss! Give the Bane speech. Oh, dang it. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can do the... Oh, man. Because it's copyrighted. I don't know if I can give the Bane... Well, it's my own version of it. Would it be altering it? Let me see if I can do a parody of the Bane speech. Because I don't know it off the top of my head. So you have already thrown him into the water. For BGC Vatan, thank you for the donation. I'm trying to think of what his thing. What? Give me a piece of the quote. Give me a piece of the quote. Because I don't know which one you're. There's a bunch. He does a bunch of speeches. Which one are you talking about? I'll do an orc version of it if you can give me what basically he says. What is the can you give me part of it? Because I'm looking for quotes and I'm not sure what it is that you're talking. It's the speech where he's telling Batman, where he's like, I was born in it. All right, I'm gonna see if I can pull up the whole speech. All right, I'm gonna get this one. All right, here we go. So you pick him up, you crush it. You basically right before you crush his head. It's like, you think the war was your ally? You merely adopted the war. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see nothing that weren't green until I was already a snot. By then, it was nothing to me but, more green. Wah! And you fling him in, you headbutt him and crush him and throw it into the thing. I can parody. Parody's protected speech. Totally parody. All right. Wah! So you managed to get get everything back. Pog comes back to you. You smack around the other snotlings that betrayed you, but they're easily bullied by things that are bigger than they are. So like, it's not like an orc war boss beats up every single orc that went with the uppity knob. They just get added into the pile. So so you guys bring everyone back. You start marching back to Snot-Tantanople, and you are feeling big. You are much bigger than the other Snots at this point. You're about a head taller than all of the other Snots at this point, and you are like, you just feel powerful. And if you want, you can. Tree Climber offers you his armor. Do you guys want to take his armor? Yeah, Tree Climber, I need that armor back. Oh, you guys take his armor back. So you guys are now like 2.5 feet tall. A little bit short of a meter. A chunk short of a meter, but take it. All right, you guys get a new set. You guys get the other set of scale armor. All right. So You guys head back to Snotantinople, and everything's looking great. Everything's kind of back to normal. You finally got rid of Skullbash. All right, see you, Niels. I think we're getting to a good stopping place, but I wanna get to the next bit. You guys head back, and you kind of go about you're ready to go about your business, do things the way they're supposed to be done. But when you return, you have done everything you can to fight to keep a hold of your position as Snot Boss. You are now unquestioned ruler of Snotantinople. But when you return, you see that the very first Gretchen has come out of the ground. And this Gretchen, if you're at 2.5 feet tall, this Gretchen stands at a full 3 feet tall. And he looks down at you. And if you guys want to hold on, you have a chance for Snottius to slay a Gretchen and retain his position as ruler of Snotantinople. But I think we're going to save that fight. We had one climactic fight, and my plan was actually to do this one afterwards, but the Skullbash fight was pretty epic. So I think and the story might be rearranged a little bit so that we do the Grot fight a little bit later, do a little bit more stuff before the Grot fight. But I think we're going to stop there, and you guys will get to know ahead of time that. So the people who are only listening to the story, who don't want to listen to the RP sessions, they will. So yeah, So I do have a thing where you guys can keep killing things, keep growing, and keep being in charge. It's just going to get harder and harder. It's going to be really hard for a Snotling to defeat a Grot, and once you kind of become whatever it is that you're going to be after defeating a Grot, to then continue to grow big and then defeat the Orcs when they show up. Lorenzo, stream's been fun. Can't wait to see the story plays out. Don't forget to invest in Plasteel and never fail bunkers. Thank you very much for your donation, Lorenzo. Snottius, the first war boss of a full war. Well, we'll see. You guys, you guys have survived everything so far. Snottius will become a Krork. You guys are still very, very small and very, very vulnerable. Mutate, become what you beat. Pretty much. You might unlock weird things in the Orc genome that allow you to do so. Thank you all very much for playing. I think I was planning on going long, but I think I'm a little gassed after that. This was a long. So when the story actually comes, or maybe the next session, I might back it up a little bit, but essentially we are going to build towards fighting a Gretchen. It might happen at the end. I think we might do like another adventure day where you guys go and do something and try to build stuff up. And then the day will conclude with you guys fighting the Gretchen that pops up. If he's going to assert he's boss and you can be boss. And if you guys lose, the good thing is you can then just play as a Grot. Wanted to say this is my favorite series other than Og the Ogren. I'm glad you're enjoying it. It's a lot of fun for me to run. It's been a while since since the pandemic started, I haven't really been able to do much in the way of gaming. So this is kind of scratching that itch. It's been really nice. Yeah, Grom the Paunch. Yeah. I think he's the only goblin that ran a WA that I know of. I think there are a couple like night goblins and groups that did some things, but Grom the Paunch, I think, is the only one who led orcs, I want to say. Og says, kill the bad bugs. Yep, he sure does. Yeah, I'm digging this. It's also simple. Like, orcs are simple. I've thought of doing the Kazazil's Merry Marauders as a choose your own adventure where it's more like this, but it's too complicated. There's too much stuff going on. There's too many characters to keep track of. Um, and the story doesn't lend itself to kind of being micromanaged in the way this is, because everything's still simple. So you guys kind of have a lot of room to do whatever you want. All right. I'm going to call it. Thank you all for playing. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves. No Man out. So long, guys.